More with the OC this week. Oh, yes, it's me and Merlin here, and we're going to talk about the OC.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to the OC, bitch!
And I want to just briefly mention, because I was looking at that beautiful box set again.
Yes, let's talk.
All right.
First of all, welcome to the OCB.
OCB
is the name of the show. This is our second episode.
Yes, of this now evolving series.
Yes. So we're going to talk about episodes 5 through 8, which is disc 2 of this. But what would you like to say about this beautiful set?
I mean, first of all,
I love that the ocean is like
it's like
it really plays into the
visual
effect here. Yeah.
Because one thing you can say about it is, with all the cast and crew, this could be the front, but look at them. If you turn it around, it's just the ocean.
It's just the ocean.
But it could also be the cover of it. It could be
either one could be. You're right.
Like, I would be fine with that. Like, oh, what's the show
You're
about?
right.
So with and without the cast, it works well as a front cover. And like the visuals of the ocean.
Very good.
Just whoever designed this box, you guys
did a great job.
You all did a great job.
They did a great
I love
job.
the presentation.
What can you say?
It's
right.
no lie, one of my favorite box sets I've ever seen.
Okay, now
it's amazing. It's amazing.
You love this show and everything about it. Let's just admit it.
The He-Man one's better.
Your He-Man one is good. Before we continue, let's talk about my T-shirt.
Yes,
because
he's the big fan.
If this is familiar to you folks, you came to the right place watching the OC. Because I got this shirt online after seeing it in episode, I want to say 1 or maybe 2 of the OC. It didn't come in time for last week's review.
Okay.
But I'm wearing it now because I said, well, that's a really cool shirt. I wonder if they make it. They kind of don't, but it's one of those, like, Etsy type things where
you can request it.
Well, people make it
custom,
but it's not like an official OC shirt.
Hardcore fans,
you know what I mean?
Want a random prop.
So anyway, so when I came in, you were like, "Oh, that's a nice shirt. I think I've seen that before."
I have.
And I said, "Yes, in the OC."
That's hilarious.
And you told me what a big fan I was. Or is it more ironic?
That's
the question.
Really, what I'm trying to figure out with this little series we're doing is that
I might be going a little hard with the T-shirt.
You went harder than me. I accept the fact that it's a joke.
But I do like this shirt. I mean, there's no Seth Cohen.
You like
Seth's style is like
his graphic tees.
I love his graphic tees.
They're not overly doing it.
No,
they're kind of funny, a little
kitschy,
ironic,
a little bit.
Yeah, but there's
true love. It's a burger. I get it.
You're in love with the burger.
Seth is
cute.
Seth is alone. I mean, we get it, right?
He's not alone anymore, though. He's got friends. He's got Ryan.
Now he's got friends. But when Ryan, he had this shirt before Ryan showed up.
You know what? He's actually the big problem with the show, man.
No, what?
Seth? He causes all the conflicts.
We're gonna have words about that.
He's the problem.
All right. So disc 2 features the following episodes: The Outsider, The Girlfriend, The Escape, and The Rescue. Are they all the something? Is that the theme?
They are all the main.
I think actually they are. They're all the something. All right. Well, that was the thing to do back then because
like Friends or whatever.
Friends was the one with the whatever. Seinfeld was literally this way. The puffy shirt. The soup Nazi. It was all the so they're really biting off of Seinfeld.
Everybody did, I guess.
Well, that was the thing to do. All right. So what we do on the OC and this particular program, Welcome to the OCB, is a thank you for the title sequence, by the way.
No problem.
Well done. I like the font that you used for that. We are going to sort of just go over everything. We're not going to grade these. We gave it a general grade for those first 4 episodes.
We'll have a
maybe
consensus
at the end of the season, but
consensus on how we feel thus far.
Yes.
But this is very much feel it as you go sort of thing.
We don't even know how long we're going to be doing this. I think we should last at least this whole first season.
I think we should.
You want to get up to the gunfight at the end of season
because that's all anybody really remembers.
Which is this
so
one.
I think that's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Though if we get that far and I'm that invested,
that's more than halfway through the show.
I want to see the disaster of these small 2 seasons.
See the rest. All right. So these, I think, are not going to be like our Freaks and Geeks. We do very, very, very in-depth
breakdowns, analyses.
But if 4 episodes of the OC take longer for us to talk about than half a season of Frasier, because we did the Frasier's in half-season chunks.
Well, all right. To be fair, I feel like that.
We
did the same thing with Sopranos too. We broke up the seasons.
We broke up the seasons in 5 episodes.
In retrospect, seems like we were breezing through those things.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why we're doing it differently. I mean, with Frasier, it was like sitcoms.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess there's smaller episodes.
Well, the things we've seen so many times.
Also, things are repetitive with some of the gags.
This is all new to us.
Yeah.
Mostly. You watched a little bit of season 1 back in the day. I watched a couple of the first episodes. I didn't see any of these before, though. So here's what happens basically in these 4 episodes. So
remind me.
Really, it's 3 episodes plus 1 because it's the 3 episodes that end the summer block, and then they took like a month and a half off, and then episode 8 we came back, and it's their first day at the school. Which I like that we actually did this all at once, so we can talk a little bit about their intro to school.
Yeah.
And not just the end of the summer stuff, because that was starting to get repetitive.
Yeah, we were like the parties and the fights. Every party's getting a little old. Yeah.
So episode 5 is where your friend appears from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh yes.
We have a new job for him.
Yes.
He's working at this bar, restaurant type of thing on the boardwalk, it seems.
Yeah.
Let's see. Say something? We don't know. I don't know what the name of it is, but he's the outsider on the whole thing. And this guy is getting him into some trouble. But like you mentioned, Seth actually is the catharsis for a lot of that.
Yeah.
So that's this episode. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Episode 6, The Girlfriend. This is where
everybody's
favorite.
This one? Everybody loved this one. Wow.
well, you hated it.
Like Troll liked it a lot.
So this is when Luke and Marissa are getting together. She loses her virginity. That's the virginity episode. And then we also have this is where Jimmy realizes that his wife wants a divorce. So we have that sort of plot going on as well. All right, then episode 7, The Escape. This is when they go to Mexico. This is the
TJ
summer season finale. They go to TJ.
She was over it at that point.
Now listen,
their least favorite thing so far.
I don't mind a good Abreeves every now and then.
It's stupid.
But to call Tijuana TJ, we get it. You're the OC instead of Orange County. But like, have you ever in your life heard it called the TJ? That was.
I don't live in California, so is that true?
No,
please,
it is.
Just let us know. Is that a thing?
Look, chapter 4 of this is called "Welcome to TJ." All right. So that's episode 7. Marissa's dealing with her the divorce announcement.
Yeah.
So she takes some pills.
And the worst decision
maybe
ever
have
by her father.
Maybe have a suicide attempt. We'll talk about that.
Oh, we will.
And then episode 8 is the first day where they're at the school. We'll talk about more what that means. So those are the basic 4 episodes.
You know,
we talk about each one first and then talk about the characters in general and how they're developing. That makes sense, right?
That makes sense. I like the way that it builds on
it's on the fly.
I'm just like,
everything's on the fly here. All right. I think that's how we should do it. So basically, episode 5, you had mentioned when we did the intro that Seth maybe is a bit of the problem because he keeps getting Ryan into these things. And we see that throughout these 4 episodes.
It's a continuous thing I noticed in these episodes, but this one really made it stick out to me because, you know, Seth really wants to be popular.
Yes.
And he doesn't quite get that, like, the interesting thing about Ryan, and we're going to skip and talk about the character.
That's fine.
Which I mentioned, which I will say is one of the most refreshing things about the show for me is when we started the OC, I remember thinking Ryan's going to be the put upon angsty guy,
right?
But I really
it's
appreciate
actually kind of Seth.
Seth
sort of is the emo of the group,
kind of. And Ryan is just like a kid he seems normal. He seems like a relatable. He's reading the comic books,
wrong side of the tracks,
playing the video games. But I really liked that. And Seth is just so desperate. He's like oblivious to like going into these parties in the bad part of town. Ryan's like, don't do that. And the car gets messed up. And
yes, that's right.
The other kid. He is. Is he trying to be helping Seth? I guess, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Ryan basically didn't want to go to this party with him.
But then
Seth is hanging around, so he's like, "Oh, let's go to this party together." Da 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 da. And then he brings a gun to the party.
Yeah, the Vampire Diaries. Stephanie.
Vampire Diaries brings the gun, and then
which is probably
so Seth calls. So Marissa and Ryan are about to have a moment.
Yes.
They're about to finally kiss.
And he has to go and bail Seth out
again. And then
again.
Seth calls him and says, "Oh my God,
and
you got to help me out."
And one pal that's watching is like, voicing like, "I hate you." Like this.
Right.
Like, Seth is kind of, in a weird way, sort of bringing Ryan down almost because Ryan's always coming to his rescue.
Yes.
And that's become sort of a theme throughout these. And this was the one that made it stick out to me. The guy bringing the gun is, I think, a sign, because we saw the first time with the prison with the Hispanic guy trying to, what was that? These random interjections of just like intense moments.
Yes.
I guess
they have to keep the drama high.
But do you think they are overdoing it a little, or is it perfect?
Yes.
Is it
no,
so
it's
soapy?
It's not perfect.
Because I was just like,
it's too soapy.
Because if you were going to do that, let's have this character fleshed out, and as we said, it just disappears. Like, what?
Yeah.
They don't even like address it. Like, this guy just leaves.
Well, look, that's fairly standard teen soap,
well, I don't like it.
Issue of the week kind of thing. This is the gun episode. You know what I mean? Like,
but they didn't resolve it. The guy's out there with a gun somewhere, like, or something. Right?
We don't know that.
Well, I guess he dropped the gun.
Okay. So the dude got shot. The Luke.
Yeah.
Luke got shot. Not fatally.
For picking on the wrong guy, actually.
But Luke got shot, and they took him to the hospital. Whatever. And of course, that ended sort of the moment between Marissa and Ryan.
I care about him because he got shot.
I really like him. So, was this the episode also?
I don't know.
It's unfortunate that we are sort of doing 4 at once because I forget. But wasn't this the episode where she basically was having trouble deciding between them, and on the boardwalk?
Yes, because before that she was like, "What are you going to decide? What? Just tell me what you want."
Yeah,
I don't want to play the game. I'm pretty sure.
Right, Ryan was just like, "Well, let me know when you've decided what you want." You know, So by the end of the episode, we've seen. Okay, well, she decided on him because
side note
of the gun.
As we'll see throughout these episodes, I think that we agreed that Marissa's character definitely gets more to do, and Misha Barton's acting gets better.
Yes, somewhat better.
Yeah. As opposed to,
but I definitely can't deny that they're giving her character more things.
She's got more drama,
especially with the divorce. I mean, really, these episodes, the first 4, was mainly about Ryan and Seth. We had the girls sort of there. I would say it was mainly about Ryan and Seth, and then Ryan's dynamic with Luke, and a little bit his dynamic with Marissa, and the stuff with Jimmy and the money.
Yeah.
These 4 episodes are much more Marissa family specific.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got her, the love triangle there is really heating up. And then you've got all the stuff with the divorce.
A lot more divorce.
So lot of, we don't really, I mean, Eyebrows is in these episodes, obviously, and he's a good man as always, but
he's sort of floating.
He's not front and center like he was in those first couple episodes.
No.
Which is fine. I don't mind that they rotate.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think, that was this episode where he was kind of getting tired of waiting for her. She decides at the end to... Well, she doesn't completely decide.
No, which is annoying because she never states, like, am I with this person or not? It's just, it's a lot of implied teenage stupidity.
Correct. It is. And she still...
it's very annoying.
Is thinking about Luke because of the gunplay. So the guy does run away, but he doesn't come back to work.
No.
We don't see him again. So I don't know. Is he on the run or did he get caught or what happened?
They never say, which just bugged me. I think there could, if you know what I mean, like you get police. Right. That's a loose end that I'm always going to be wondering about. Because it was kind of a big deal for the episode. You know what I mean? The guy, I don't know. He introduced this major character.
When you think back in 20 years about the OC, if you're hung up on that plot point, I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. So then the next one's the girlfriend. This is where we meet...
Seth's dad.
Grandfather, right? Seth's maternal grandfather, who has never liked Eyebrows, which is Peter Gallagher, by the way,
or his daughter that much,
or really he takes the daughter for granted.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, he is dating this 26-year-old, 23
or
24.
I'm pretty sure she's 24.
Yeah, well, this says mid-20s. I couldn't remember the exact age, 24.
I don't know why, but I do
remember
that.
We'll go with
it.
Yeah. So Ryan and really kind of Seth, too, have the hots for her. And Seth realizes, well, even though there's no blood relation here, she's my grandmother she is married to him. She is the grandmother. I shouldn't have said girlfriend.
This is the most
wife.
Sex stuff this show has been. Just the interjection.
Very sex. Well,
so much. Even more than the actual sex.
Very sexed up because the sex is in this episode. This is the episode where Marissa loses her virginity.
It's thematic. It's all about sex.
It's all about sex. This whole episode. It's called The Girlfriend. Really, it should be called The Effing. But...
the V.
The effing, the V. So, the grandmother is
great.
really hot.
Yeah.
and hot to trot because the grandfather is not showing her any interest.
Ironically, trophy wife.
Trophy wife with no sex. You would think if you have this hot wife, you want to
do something about it.
Do something about it. He doesn't. So he just lets her do whatever. Well, we learn. Well, you knew right away he was going to be a jerk. But
yeah, I knew.
We learned that
that was pretty.
He never really, supported this marriage between her and Eyebrows. He also wants to demote her.
Yeah,
because
take more control of the company himself.
He wants to be more involved with his own company, what have you, and that comes with its own set of issues. For her, Peter Gallagher kind of makes a stand and says, "Look, man,
we can leave.
We don't need you. She's great, and you don't see it, and f off, basically. Being the great husband as he always is.
Indeed.
And so that's the whole thing. And then at the end of this episode is where we learn. Well, I guess we'll get to the divorce, but we find out that this woman, this grandmother, is hot for Ryan, who isn't. So she sort of goes away from the grandfather's party, sneaks off to Ryan's crib. They start making out. Marissa walks in on it.
Of course. Right when she's about to say, "I want to be with you."
We knew that was going to happen. Yeah, she kind of made a decision.
Basic, right?
It was going to be for him, but then instead she flips and goes out with the other guy. Then she has sex with him, loses their virginity, and then Jimmy's wife realizes, / Marissa's mom, that the money thing is too hard a hurdle. We're going to get a divorce.
Oh, and that's where the real drama kicks in.
And we have a lot to say, I think, about that.
The last couple episodes are pretty.
Well, let's first go to TJ. Talk about Mexico. So, there's a trip to Mexico.
Goes awry.
Goes awry. Partially because
Summer's
this idiot dad, Jimmy, decides
I'm gonna leave
he's going to... First of all, she offers to stay. Marissa consents something's up. She doesn't know the divorce, but obviously her dad's been through a lot of legal issues with the money laundering and stuff and the pyramid scheme. So she's like, I'm going to stay with you for the weekend. I'm not going to go to Tijuana. But little does she know, he's going to move out that weekend.
Yep.
The plan is she comes back from the TJ, he's gone.
Which is a horrible idea.
Horrible idea. So then Eyebrows' wife comes up with an even worse idea.
You should just call her.
Call her and tell her. What is her name, by the way?
We always call
Julie Cooper.
Julie.
Oh, no. Julie's Jimmy's wife. Kristen,
Mrs. Cohen.
Or Kirsten, it looks like. That's Kirsten.
Mrs.
Sandy
Cohen.
And Kirsten. All right.
Mrs. Cohen. She's not Sandy.
Seth's mom. Sandy's, of course, dad.
Mrs. Cohen. Mama Cohen.
We call Sandy Eyebrows, really, but
Gallagher.
Either way.
Yeah.
But so she comes up with an even worse plan.
Worst advice
to tell Marissa
on the show
while she's on the trip.
Don't ruin her vacation. Just tell her why. What?
So
what?
Okay, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
That was
which we can get into.
Is that dumb writing?
But basically, no, it's not dumb writing. They purposely did it so she would freak out in Tijuana. But in
terms of character, I don't know.
It makes
her look terrible.
It makes them look like idiots. He also kisses her in this episode too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had to deal with that. But anyway,
drama.
She starts taking a bunch of pills. They break down because Summer's being the B, basically.
OCB.
The OCB. And at this point, Seth is kind of done with her. We've been to the back and forth part a couple of times already.
Now. Yeah, he's done
but in this episode, she really treats him like garbage. Like he is useless, like he's stupid.
She was pretty bad.
He's not having it.
No.
Now, he does talk about Death Cab, I think, in this episode. I think this is the one.
That's true.
Which I told you in the first episode of our show.
What a weird connection, yeah.
Very, very much with the Death Cab. But, so they aren't actually in Mexico yet. Jimmy, I guess, thinks that they are, but they end up breaking down because they veer off the road, and so they have to spend the night in the seedy hotel or motel, and, some things happen. Summer ends up sleeping in the bed with Seth, but they're fighting, so nothing happens there. But, Ryan has an interesting moment with Marissa because she confides in him, my parents are getting divorced, Yep. Stupidest idea of all time. So she ends up ODing essentially on too many pills and alcohol mix.
Which was a very interesting sequence.
Interesting sequence. She goes off and starts stumbling out of the bar.
She finds that Luke's there, actually, down there.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
He went down.
You're right. So before even the overdose, compounding everything is that she sees Luke kissing this other woman.
Other girl he's been
and then it is revealed that, well, he kisses everybody. He does stuff with everybody.
He's like, what do you mean?
You're the last to know, Marissa.
So she's having the worst day.
So that even compounds the divorce thing and takes her really over the edge.
And then she's never seen again because she's in, like, Mexico.
Stumbling out, yes. Now, if this were... what did I say? I said it was taken. I said she would be really taken if this was real.
She's gone.
She's a 16, 17-year-old girl stumbling out of a bar, drunk and on pills, clearly...
Some alleyway.
Clearly, like, stumbling around, very, very drugged up, and she passes out in an alley... And they stumble upon her. No. Come on. Like, listen, I don't mind some soap. I don't mind stretching some things a little bit for drama purposes. But this is so out of the realm of what would have really happened. She would have been sold into the sex trade. Well, there's no doubt.
That's a very dark direction for the OC.
The OC means Taken, for sure.
I mean, I'd watch it probably.
All right, so I guess should we talk about these 3 episodes before we move on to episode 8, which is... I guess episode 8 has to do with the divorce, though, and the aftermath of this.
No, we need to talk about the last one.
So I guess we can talk about it with
that's
with
for
everything.
Marissa. It's a direct sequel to the book of her passing out. And
you're right. The whole reason they're doing this Mexico trip is because it's their last hurrah before school starts. So even though in our time, if you're watching it live on Fox, we had about a 5-week break. Really. The Mexico trip happens immediately before the school episode. You're right. So I guess that makes more sense. So this is called The Rescue. This is where they're at the hospital with Marissa. The mom, Julie, comes in and says, look, you're
the problem, Ryan.
You're the problem, Ryan. Get out of here. You aren't to see her again. Marissa, I'm going to take you to this psychiatric place in San Francisco or whatever. What is funny about that?
Because
it's horrible.
Because the episode becomes Star Trek 4 with the bits where they pretend to be they dress up as hospital people to go in to get escape.
All right.
With the bits.
I don't think of that as the Star Trek 4 move. I mean,
it is though.
To me, the Star Trek 4 move is saving the whales and getting the nuclear weapons together.
Marissa.
Okay. Star Trek 4 was far from the first people to pretend to be hospital staff. I mean, I think Lucy and Desi probably.
It's the first thing I think of. It's one of the great hospital capers to me.
Of course it is.
But her mom lined the therapist to get her shipped off his back.
So the therapist is there, who's great.
That's not fun.
And I don't know that actress, but she was great.
She was
the
good.
Therapist.
The therapist was good.
So we're bringing her in. She's being lied to by Julie. Julie's also lying to Marissa. Julie's just lying to everybody. And so Jimmy has no knowledge of this, but he obviously is going to fight for this. Marissa says, I want to be with my dad, not you. You're the problem, Mom. Yeah. Ryan sort of stages an intervention type thing for the mom. And so that's what happens there. And of course, she yells at Eyebrows about it and says, how could you be a part of this, Sandy?
But he can mediate. That's what he does.
Well, he's great at it. He also is this the episode where he gets a job?
Yeah,
I think this is the one.
He decides to go to
you know what? This actually happened in the Mexico episode because she's in 2 episodes. It's Bonnie Somerville who played Mona on Friends and many other things, but they, I guess, have some sort of history as well. Not that different, I think, from Jimmy and Seth's mom.
Probably interesting
and
stuff
so,
in that direction.
She gets very jealous of Sandy and this new work woman, which Sandy is like, well,
whatever.
No reason. Like, what?
I trust you, you trust me.
Right, I trust you, you
Nothing
trust me.
Nothing going on, is there?
But we, of course, had the kiss from Jimmy in the previous episode, which, of course, is not revealed here.
Everybody's a teenager.
Everybody's a teenager. That's... Well, I mean, they really are. I mean, Eyebrows is surfing in the middle of the day in this one
Even
episode.
though he's a public defender, like, what?
Gosh.
What
I mean, it might have been a Saturday. We don't know. But still.
It's always Saturday.
It's always Saturday on the OC. All right, so those are the episodes. But in the school thing, they're trying to get Ryan into this school,
to take
this
the
private school.
exam.
So he's got to take the exam because his grades are great, but he's obviously got a history of being in trouble, the juvie thing, etc. So they make him take this exam, but Seth again, because of Marissa, Seth.
Oh no, you got to come with us to say Marissa.
Calls him in the middle of the test and
she'll be
pulls
fine.
him out and
take the test. We were all
all
angry,
yelling about it.
Like, no, just take the test.
It's very annoying.
She'll be fine. They'll take care of it. Just can wait a few minutes.
Yes. So that happened. They let him retake it because Peter Gallagher worked his magic at the end of the episode. And he got in.
And Mrs. O'Brien was like, "Hey, be good."
Yes, another Star Trek alum. Was it Miles O'Brien?
Yep, his wife.
Miles' wife.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all that happens so far. Not really a cliffhanger to this first episode. This is really a second pilot.
Yeah.
It's a reboot. Obviously, it's a direct correlation to the Mexico episode, but because it's 6 weeks after the fact in airing it, it basically resets everything.
Of all the, I mean, I guess in comparison to last time, I mean, this is not so much ending on a cliffhanger. This was like a good two-parter. That if theoretically the show got canceled, there'd be like a good new beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, so
see that.
This is more of like a good. What
the real cliffhanger was the end of Summer episode, not Summer the character, Summer the season. But the end where Marissa is
that was
in the alleyway
that you have to tune in next month.
Right, you have to tune in 6 weeks from now after the World Series is over for the new the real season of the OC,
which clearly worked.
So became a huge hit.
And I'll be honest, I thought that was honestly a good cliffhanger. I thought that was pretty intense.
Not bad. I would have come back for it.
I was like,
if we had left it there, I would have definitely come back
if we had stopped, I'd be like, oh man, what is she gonna be okay?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know, what's the fallout of this gonna be like?
All right, so let's see. Let's run down the characters and what they're up to. So, Summer is barely in this, but the episode she's in, I hated her in.
You did?
I mean, I guess she's in all of them, really, but and when they got back to school, she ignored Seth.
Mm-hmm. What she said she was going to.
She came over to him and started talking to him at first, and then her friends came up and she ditched him and made fun of him. Very not cool.
Uncool.
You knew it was coming, but I didn't like it. So she's right now my least favorite character.
She
even over Luke, the bully.
Well, Luke at least is...
But except for the mom. I mean, obviously, but of the kid characters.
The mom is your least favorite?
Marissa's mom? Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, she is
not
but
Seth's
Summer
mom.
is a protagonist, I guess. Ish.
Well, I don't... We don't know.
She's auxiliary.
It's hard to tell.
She's Marissa's friend.
Yeah, Marissa's
she cares
friend.
about Marissa. We decided that was like her
and she's not in the credits in this first
trick.
season, so...
She's Busy Phillips right now.
Busy Phillipsing it. But so... I don't like that. Okay, the Luke thing... Okay, so the love triangle, I guess.
He's the most complex character because Luke is like he clearly is a young kid who does not know what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
It's weird. You wouldn't think he would be, but like every time you think you've got him figured out, we're like, we can't get a handle
I guess that's
on Luke.
true. I guess that's true.
Which is weird.
And now in that 8th episode, he's being super nice to Ryan because basically he won.
Yeah, Ryan also saved her.
Ryan also saved her in Mexico after their whole thing. And really, I guess he kind of saved him after the bullet.
Yes.
Didn't he help save Luke and get him to the hospital?
Yeah, because remember he got shot in the arm. So he has to stop hating on Ryan at this point. Like it's getting
and he does clearly.
Yeah, okay.
This point,
all right,
they're all good in the hood, I guess.
So at the moment,
for the time being. But do you like that she's with him right now?
Luke?
I hate it.
That she's with Luke?
Yeah.
Oh, it's annoying.
Or I guess is she after the Mexico episode? Is she?
He's trying to get back.
He's trying to get back with her,
with the flowers and stuff.
Right.
Look,
but she's not with anybody right now.
It's
right now she's with no one.
This is one of the things it's the formula of this type of show,
obviously.
But it's frustrating.
We'll do the back and forth.
And so Marissa,
all 4 seasons.
It's annoying. So how do I feel about it?
Yeah. She shouldn't be with him.
She
obviously.
I think.
But she's still hurt about Ryan because he was hitting it with the grandmother.
Oh,
that classic.
He went to save you in the
look, he's proven time and again that he's into her.
Yeah, she's
good man.
Not like leading up. He said it in episode 5. Just tell me what you want so
You're
we
right.
can like stop messing around.
All right, so let's see. The whole divorce thing, that's obviously a big plot.
That was probably the most interesting, like, overall plot.
Yeah.
The slow build of, like, the exchanges and the potential jealousies.
Well, and something that we talked about last time that I think even more goes for these episodes because of the divorce subplot is, and because of the grandfather episode,
yes,
is that of all the teen shows, this really is giving some meaty plot points
to the adults,
which
is good,
which we don't see very often in shows like this. I can't think of too many.
It also directly connects to a lot of the drama with the kids.
Well, it definitely does, because first of all, even back to that first episode where Sandy's, saving Ryan's hide with the juvie and everything as the DA, and then saving him from the mother. If he wasn't a DA, he couldn't be doing that, and yet here in episodes 7 and 8, he decides to sort of ditch that life and go do something else, which if he wasn't a DA, Ryan wouldn't even be in the picture.
Has a direct correlation, though. Remember, thinking about what he contributes and the fact that money's kind of hers, he wants to go a different direction.
Yes.
He decides he wants to kind of take more of a role that way.
Yeah, because they got in a little bit of a tiff about her making more than him, and you just love to hold that over me.
Like
she's like, what are you talking about? And it's never been about that, which I believe.
Yeah, I don't think she thinks that.
I believed her on that. But I really like that they're giving the adults a lot of interesting stuff to do, and like you said, everything that they're doing is connected with the kids, because the divorce obviously is dealing with Marissa and what's going on there. Her saying, I want to live with Dad, even though Dad's life right now, we don't know if he's going to jail. I mean, I think we decided he wouldn't go to jail if they sold the house. But she doesn't want to sell the house. She would rather see him go up the river.
Yeah.
So we don't know where that lies. That will be, I think that's going to be a season-long plot.
It's like clearly she's around. Hopefully she has an arc as well. But man, the mom,
she's the meanest character by a mile.
Like, I thought that her having a problem with her husband, I do kind of get it.
Yeah.
But like when she lied to the therapist to try to get her kid sent away.
It's one thing to lie to the soon-to-be ex-husband, even lying to your kid for their own good that just tried to kill themselves. But lying to the therapist whose sole purpose is to help your daughter
first, like.
Man, that's next level.
That's just wrong. It's illegal or something. Like,
well, it's in poor form, if nothing else. But and immoral. But even the therapist was like, well, you could take her upstate, but
she could stay home.
We could also find somebody for her here. I could recommend somebody.
Yeah.
And Julie obviously didn't see it that way, but. Yeah, man, she is just evil so far.
Yeah, she's the closest to true evil so far.
Now, I want to say something in a spoiler-type fashion, but of course, we don't know much either, so it's spoilers to us. But on this package, we can see a lot of the people here. There's, the parents, there's Seth and Summer together, there's Ryan and Marissa together.
This is encapsulating
the whole
mom.
Show.
And the mom.
But Tate Donovan... Marissa's dad is not on here.
And Luke is also nowhere to be found. So like, do these people, like, really...
Obviously...
This is the core of the show from the writer's, producer's perspective.
Well, no, I think this was the season 4 finale shot from, like, the marketing
like a promo
of Say Goodbye to the OC.
Okay.
So that's why they're all... Because I think this is their graduation. I think that's why they're all dressed up or something. Or someone's marriage. But there's no Jimmy... And there's no Luke. So obviously, they either don't make it through all 4 seasons. Luke might die in that gunfight. We don't know.
There's that's an interesting you point out, because I'm thinking, like, if you have the Buffy box set, I'm guessing, right? Who's on that? Do you remember?
Just Buffy is on the cover.
Interesting. See, the Sopranos one has pretty much everybody.
Some people that died.
So it's like, that's interesting.
Now, we could look a little further per season, because there's snapshots of everybody in each season. I don't want to do that.
No.
But I did notice that. And I remember when the 4th season came out and they were saying goodbye, that was like the promo shot. So that makes sense.
And if you look at the context of the characters from a photography standpoint, who's standing next to each other, what are their emotions? They're all pretty happy.
And clearly Seth and Summer are together, which I think we knew.
Which I remembered.
Yeah.
And so it looks like Mom and Marissa would be okay by the end.
Looks like by the end they were going to work things out. Jimmy, we don't know what happens to him. He might be in jail by the end of the show.
Well, all right.
For drama okay, wait, I'm going to throw a guess out there. All
right.
For soapy drama purposes,
okay.
My guess is he kills himself. They're going to send him up the river. They're going to sentence him to 15, 20 years, whatever, in jail. And he kills himself.
But then they won't lose the house and everything.
That's my guess.
And then Marissa will have a lot of issues with that. And that will bring them closer to Ryan.
Right. Could be.
Do you think
could be a reason why he's not in it in season 4, or at least in the finale?
Do you think she should live with her dad?
At this point,
because I still don't know if he's that great either. He's the reason she tried to, kill herself.
Well, so is Luke though. That was a twofer.
That was a twofer. I know he's like better than the mom, but I'm like he's really not that great either right now. I mean, just for a situation living, but what choice would she have? I guess.
What choice would she have? But keep in mind. Who likes Ryan? Jimmy doesn't have a problem with Ryan.
No, he doesn't.
So, to me, yeah, I think it makes sense that she wouldn't want to live with him because the mom is literally forbidding her to see this man that she really, really likes.
That's pretty much, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's my guess. That's where he went. I don't know where Luke went.
I have no idea. I'm just curious, who gets killed in the gunshot, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Tell us,
we'll find out, I guess.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, please no spoilers in the comments. But... Please comment.
About
Let
us know
these episodes.
if you like it.
All right, is there anything else before we wrap here? This is already much longer than I thought it was
going to be.
25 I said
minutes.
25 minutes.
Yeah.
But is there anything else we want to talk about before
all I know is that
on?
According to Michael Giltz of the New York Post, the OC exploded into a pop cultural phenomenon.
He's not wrong.
I'm still trying to figure out if that's hyperbole or not.
I think phenomenon might be extreme.
Maybe like pop culture standpoint.
Yeah, event.
Phenomenon.
Maybe.
X-Files is a phenomenon.
I don't know. We could debate that sentence all day.
Sure.
I think pop culture phenomenon in television, there hasn't been that many. Seinfeld. There hasn't. American Idol. That was a phenomenon. The OC, maybe not. Lost
was a phenomenon. Everyone was talking. Was everybody talking about the OC? I don't think
I don't know. No. So that might be a little hyperbolic.
He thought so. He liked it a lot.
Yeah, New York Post is kind of a rag.
Was paid to say that he was. I don't know. Probably.
All right, but is there anything else you wanted to mention from these 4 episodes that we got to?
I will say
it's nice that they're in school. Nice that all the parties are over.
I like that the parties were over. I was getting tired of those. No. I like the dynamics of the characters. They're growing, getting more interesting. I really like.
Yeah, I agree with you that Marissa's character is really
it's getting better,
coming into its own in these few episodes.
I really liked the episode. I actually really enjoyed the episode where they went to TJ.
Okay.
Because I thought there was a lot of interesting character stuff there. Everybody was together.
I just hate that they called it TJ.
That was annoying. And I really did think it got to some very dark territory.
Yeah, very dark.
With the pills, and they got weird and experimental with some of the shots. They had a lot of fun directing that.
Yeah, we were talking about the interesting direction.
Making it more cinematic. It was kind of cool.
Music-wise, not as much... in fact, the one episode was almost all score, I had pointed out.
Yeah.
There was almost no soundtrack to it. It was almost all orchestration. Those first few episodes were littered with current pop and rock hits.
I think that might be a tonal thing, trying to make it a little more focused on
Yeah. Now, at the one party, I think it was in episode 6, we did hear Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas, so that was obviously a huge hit.
That was a big one.
At the time. But, yeah, the one episode, I think the TJ episode was almost all orchestra.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Except when they were like the club or whatever, or maybe it was episode 8 that was when they were back.
And in
but
the school,
either way, I thought that was interesting.
Those were both good.
For a show that is so
steeped
in the current landscape of pop and alternative music.
Got away from it for a minute.
It really, enough for me to make a comment about.
Like, this is missing a lot of that. We're focusing more on the dialogue.
Right.
Yeah. So that's. Good point.
So that's something.
I liked overall. I liked these 4 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in for more episodes of this.
I'm invested.
I think we're going for this whole season at least, and unless it ends real dumb, because you really want to get to the gunfight. That's the last.
But if by the end of the season I'm like it's already losing steam for me, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But I want to see him in school. I want to see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
where it goes.
Does Chrismica come before the gunfight?
Yes, Chrismica is in this season. I'm almost positive.
We have to at least get to Chrismica.
Chrismica is in season 1, but even if it's in season 2, it would come before the gunfight, because that's the gunfight's the finale of that season.
Because I remember Chrismica. I remember that episode.
Let's find it. It says all the air dates. Let's find out. Yep, episode 13, the best Chrismica ever. So that'll be in 2 more episodes for us of Welcome to the OCB.
Because that's like peak OC right there.
That is.
If you ask,
that's what I think of more than the gunfight. I think of Chrismica and the line "Welcome to the OCB."
Welcome to the OCB, Chrismica,
yes.
and the gunfight.
Well,
that's the OC in like a 3-minute
Chrismica
vignette.
Is sort of become a pop culture phenomenon.
Like people talked about it. I remember.
Yes, much like Festivus.
Yes,
like Chrismica, it did sort of get to that pop culture super status.
For like a couple years.
For that at least, but
people did have a moment.
Yes, but anyway, we'll wrap it there. I think 40 minutes seems plenty to talk about the OC. Oh, you have something else?
Are we going to give it a grade-ish thing?
Well,
What's our feeling?
I think let's talk about our feelings more than grading, because I think we were in sort of that B range. I mean, I think from these 4 episodes, I'm still pretty much in that same range.
Same. Yeah.
I mean, nothing's really. I mean, Marissa's whatever her name is, Misha Barton's acting is better.
Yes.
But they're also giving her character more to do.
So that's
The party stuff in episodes 5 and 6 was a bit repetitious, but then they had the whole Mexico 2-parter, so it's like
okay.
So I think a B is pretty good for this.
Sounds
right?
All right. Yeah, sure.
As I say, we're not going to grade it. We'll just talk about our feelings when we say B.
We'll grade it when we get to
I think we'll give it an official grade at the end of the season.
Sure.
But that's I'm feeling that these 4 are about the same, as the other 4. So
okay.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye. 42 minutes.
Almost as long as the last one. Hey, it's
Almost.
still.